everyone, welcome to my channel. We're kicking off another video on the Passagemaker Take Apart Dingy project. Got lots to do, so let's get at it. Alright, from the last video, you'll remember that we had the case of the missing fiberglass. The fiberglass has been located. It was had fallen off a table and was on the floor, and it's a senior moment. We're just going to move on from here, all right? We're not going to talk about that anymore. Anyways, I got the new fiberglass. And what I did this time was take some packing type of paper and made a template for this area. Then took the template back inside, and on the new fiberglass I have this is the rough edge here that how the fiberglass came, and I put a piece of tape along that edge to kind of give me a straight line kind of thing. Put the template down on the fiberglass on the floor, and then put tape probably about 1.5 inches wider than what I needed it to be all the way along, and then cut along that tape so that way I don't have any of those goofy strands getting in my way here. Also, I think I was able to get a nice cleaner cut and not have to handle the fiberglass anymore. So I think that's a pretty good method as far as I can see. My big concern next with how we do this layup is you can see where the tape runs along that bulkhead there at the bottom, and then I've got quite a bit of distance up there to the tape, and I don't want to have a chance of me putting epoxy resin on that fiberglass up there and then having a mess. So the next thing I'm going to do is cut the fiberglass all along this back section so that it's at right around the level of that tape, and I'm going to just do it right here while it's sitting in the boat, and I think that'll work pretty good. Then the other thing I've got to do is just make some cuts here, some just little darts to get around these two corners here, and then smooth it out once more, and we'll be ready to do some fiberglassing and epoxy work tomorrow morning. The reason it's tomorrow morning is because it's already 75 degrees out here. And the weather is a little wonky right now, but tomorrow and the rest of next week should be pretty good weather to do this. So I'll get this all ready to go, and we'll be back out at a 4 a.m. start tomorrow morning. The other thing I want to do today is, so I'm going to take this template and modify it to use for this spot here, and then I'll cut the fiberglass the same way for this section, so that way I can do tomorrow, and then the day after hopefully I can get back out here and do this section, and then that'll do for the big epoxy sessions that I've got to do until we get to the bottom of the boat. The bottom of the boat is a big one, but I've got another trick up my sleeve for that we'll get to that one later. But anyways, yep, so now I'm going to do some cutting, some trimming, get the other fiberglass ready, and then we'll be ready to hit it hard tomorrow morning. Okie dokie then. So it's another day out here in the shed, and it is early morning. Not quite as early as I'd like it to be, but it's still early enough. So I've got yesterday you can see I trimmed off the back edge of the fiberglass. I did that in place, haven't moved it since, so we don't have any wild strands going all over the place. And got the front part trimmed up pretty good. I think that'll work because we'll only be going up to where the tape is, so I think we're looking pretty good there. I did put some extra tape over on the top of the fiberglass, because again, we're only going to that line. Where is it? There it is, to that top line there. So anyways, let me get you set up. It is, let's see, 63 degrees out here now, so perfect weather, and we better get at it before it gets too hot. Alrighty, all ready to go here. Even though it's 63 degrees, I've turned the AC on just to maybe even give us a little bit longer working time. So I want to make sure I start out with not quite such a mess this time. So I'm going to just do a small area at a time. Should have plenty of working time this morning. Alrighty then, for my next magic trick. So I've got the peel ply all ready to go. I'm just going to kind of float it out here and hope for the best. And almost got it. Yeah, no, too big of an area. Next time we're going to do smaller chunks. But there is no way I'm going to get this halfway decent. It's too big of a piece, and I've really screwed it up now. And this is going right here. Good grief. Smaller chunks of peel ply. Couple spots with just a little bit too much epoxy, and I'd hoped using the peel ply I could get away with that, because the peel ply would suck up the extra epoxy, but now that's not the case anymore. What a mess. The other problem is, with working time so long, I can really just keep messing with it and giving more opportunities to screw it up. So I'm going to have to, if I want a real good finish on this, I'm probably going to have to sand it anyways without the peel ply. So yeah, so I need to do some strips of ply, peel ply for the front part, instead of trying to do one big section. That's the only way I'm going to get it done. Oh, the other thing I don't think I mentioned, after seeing the front, how that looks, what I've decided to do is, once we go to start finishing off the inside, I'm going to go ahead and put a cove of the wood flour thickened epoxy along these edges that I have taped off, even though they don't tell you to, before we do anything else in there. Smear it so it's nice and smooth and level. I think that is gonna help the overall appearance. And when you sail this boat, you actually kind of sit in the bottom here on either side. So having a smooth edge, a smooth transition here should be a lot better. Yep, definitely going to have to do some sanding on this section. I put the epoxy down too thick, thinking that I was gonna be able to use the peel ply on it. That's all right. It's down. I don't see any major bubbles. I don't see any major gaps. Give this probably 3 hours today. So it's 6 a.m. right now. So I've come back out here around 9. I should be able to cut the do the cuts along the edges, and then tomorrow we should be able to clean it up, or at least get ready for the front section. Yep. Alrighty then. Go ahead and give it 3 hours. Come back out and oops, I got to remember to do some cleanup and clean up my tools. Yep. So wait 3 hours. Come back out and cut the tape lines. All right, then, not looking too bad. I see a few spots, but like I said, I think what I'm going to end up doing on this is probably giving it a light sand and maybe even another light coat of epoxy, but maybe just a sand, because I'm pretty sure we're going to be varnishing this afterwards, so probably need a sand anyways. But I wanted to go ahead and it's been about what is the time? Is it? So it's been about 2.5 hours since I finished up, and the temperature is holding at 68 now. So I think we'll go ahead and give this a shot, see if we can cut this without making too much of a mess. Not too worried about the sides. This back part and the front part are really what I'm worried about. Like I said, I'm going to put another fillet along here and smooth this out so it's nice and got a good transition there. Yeah, that works pretty good. I just put some denatured alcohol on this rag here and cleaned up my knife, make sure I got a nice clean edge, so that worked. All right, a little cleanup there, but it doesn't look too bad. Perfect. Yeah, let me show you what we got going on here now. All right, then, I'm pretty happy. Got a few spots to clean up, some tape that got left over, a couple little strands, but the biggest thing is I don't see any voids, and I don't see any major waviness. And there's a little bit of unevenness here, but I think I'll be able to sand that out. And like I said, if I have to, I can put another coat, light coat of epoxy over it. Maybe get the peel ply right this time. So the only tape I've got left is here in the front, and I want this to be a pretty straight cut. So I think, and I don't have an edge or a lip to guide me here. So I'm going to try to use this square here, see if we can get a nice straight cut with it. So let me set you up and see if we can not screw this one up. Probably should put packing tape. Hold on. Let me get some packing tape I'm going to put on the back side of this, I think. Let's give that a shot. Woohoo! That looks good. Man, I'm almost getting the hang of this now. So now when I do the front half here, I can put a piece of tape so that the edge is right along the same edge here, and then when I put the fiberglass over it and then cut it again, we should have there'll be probably be a visible seam here, but it should be straight and not look awful. Yep, got a good seam there. You can see a little bit of bleed through on the epoxy there, but that's fine. And like I said, now I'll go ahead. Hopefully this afternoon I'll be able to come back out, maybe even this evening, and then put that piece of tape in there and be all ready to do this front half. And then I'll also make smaller pieces of peel ply, a bunch of small pieces of peel ply that I can put down and get this right. I'll also have to reorient the boat because I've got it sitting up high here in the front. So I got it sitting high up here in the front so that that first section would be mostly level. So now I'll switch it around so that we can level this one out to give me a better chance, and then we'll hopefully be able to get this section done tomorrow. And I think the next step after that is to flip the boat. I'll have to check the manual. Pretty sure the next step is to flip the boat. So we'll pause here and be back tomorrow. Alrighty then, looks like we're all ready to put in another piece of fiberglass today here. So I've already got it fitted in pretty good. Did some trimming along the edges there, over there, and there. We're at 65 degrees out here in the shed, and I think, yep. So also I've got little squares of peel ply all ready to go, I hope. So hopefully these little squares will go in a lot easier. Looking ahead in the manual, once we get the outside a little bit more finished, we come back inside and start putting the seats on. And at that point, we have to sand the entire inside anyways. So I think that's probably why they don't have you worry about the peel ply. But I think that's why I'm not going to worry about it too much, since we're going to have to sand the whole thing. But we'll get to that later. But I still want to try the peel ply, see if this how these smaller squares look. So we'll get you set up and get to doing some fiberglassing. Alrighty, and here we go. This is going to be hopefully not too bad. Alrighty, time for the peel ply, finally. Let's see if this goes any better. Let's grab a random hunk here. Alright, that wasn't too awful. Alrighty then, I guess I better stop messing with it before I hose it up. The peel ply went on okay, I think. Not too sure how it's going to turn out. It's always the big question. Yep, we'll see how it looks when it comes off, and the real way to figure out if this helped any or not is when we go to sand it. So we'll pause here. I'll come out later, do the trimming up, and then we'll take a look at this tomorrow morning. Alrighty then. So yesterday I did come out and trim up all the edges to get the excess fiberglass off before it got dry. One thing I didn't think about was leaving me an edge for the peel ply, but I was able to get this corner up here with a pair of needle nose. Kind of anxious to see what this looks like, so let's get this peel ply off and see what we got underneath, if I can get it off. Well, this is pretty humorous. I don't have an edge to get this off. Huh. Well, that's pretty darn funny. Well then, that was a little bit of a chore, but not too bad. It's looking pretty good. We got a couple of spots where the edges of the peel ply were that left a little bit of a seam, but those should sand out pretty smooth. I only found one spot that was a little bit low right there, right in the middle, but I think I think the seat comes out this way, so that might be hidden. And then this seam back here is real good. I really think this came out pretty good. It should sand down to give us, if there is a seam, it'll be a nice straight line there. So in all, it wasn't too bad. It feels fairly smooth. I think the sanding on this section will be a lot easier than the sanding on that section, but there will be sanding on it, so it didn't relieve us all the way from sanding. And again, I'm going to be putting when we come back to finish off the interior, before we do that, I'll put another cove along this plank here, all the way along on both sides. I think that'll just give us a better transition here, and smooth this seam out a little bit more. So then I'm not gonna worry about sanding any of the interior, because we've got lots to do after that, or before we come back to the interior. So the next thing on the list is prepping the exterior bottom for fiberglass. So we got some sanding to do. The whole hull needs to be sanded down, and they show the edges where before we had put the spot welds inside. Now we need to sand those down and get another fillet in there to cover that seam. And they tell you to use between 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch filleting tool. I think I'm going to smear mine out a little bit more after the well, it really will depend on the angle of the plank to the next one. I think that's how I'd like to approach it. And then after we do the fillets on the whole outside of the hull, then we put fiberglass, one fiberglass layer on the bottom, just on the very bottom panel in between that the bottom and that first plank is where the fiberglass goes. So we got that to look forward to. So I think that sanding and the fillet on the whole boat is going to take me quite a bit of time. So I'm not sure. I'll be working on it for the next 2 or 3 days, and I'll get some footage, but we'll probably, I'm not sure yet, but the only thing is just if you don't see an episode this Saturday, it's because I've got the whole boat to do for filleting, for sanding, filleting, and then putting the fiberglass on. I think on the bottom. I think that's going to take me about a week. So if there isn't an episode Saturday, that's because I didn't have enough content here to publish one. But we'll get one out at a minimum of a week from today, and today is Wednesday, so we're right back on real time here. I'll be starting the bottom this afternoon after I finish up this video. All right, good. So I think we're making some good progress. Still learning as we go here and figuring things out, but overall, I'm generally okay with the way things are going. Anyhow, like I said, look out for the if the video is not this Saturday, it'll be next Wednesday. Wanted to take this opportunity to say thanks for watching, thanks for your support. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Please leave me any comments, questions, suggestions down below. Please tell your friends about me, and please subscribe. Everyone, take care and be good.